The ogre has prepared this piece for all those out there that said Trump was a liar. He was a Cheeto-colored moron, and that he would never do what he said. Here's two excellent stories, and the ogre puts Trump under the microscope. Here comes the Laughing Ogre! This is your ever-loving blue-eyed ogre from somewhere in the vast unknown. We'll be looking at two stories very quickly today, and I hope to bring you something uplifting to your Sunday. Sometimes the news is such a trial and a tribulation to even hear it or read it, to see it on your television set. So today, if you happen to be a never-Trumper or someone that says he's a yellow moron that's full of lies, this will probably be disappointing to you. Fair warning. We're taking our first story from the Gateway Pundit. In first 2 months in office, Trump reduced debt by $100 billion. Obama increased debt by $400 billion. In first 2 months in office, Donald Trump reduces debt by $100 billion. Obama increased debt by $400 billion. $500 billion difference. On January 20th, the day of President Trump's inauguration, the U.S. debt stood at $19,947 billion. As of March 16th, the most recent date for U.S. debt reporting, the U.S. debt stands at $19,846 billion. President Trump has cut U.S. debt burden by over $100 billion in 0.5% in the first 2 months since his inauguration. If that number seems small, folks, let's look on down right here. There will be a link in the description so that you can look at these numbers yourself. By comparison, under President Obama, the U.S. debt burden increased by more than $400 billion after his inauguration through March 19th, 2009, his first 2 months in office. Obama increased the U.S. debt by 3.9% during this time period and signed the $1 trillion stimulus bill, which is widely, including by this reporter, considered a colossal failure and waste of U.S. tax dollars. The failed stimulus was the major piece of legislation in Obama's first year, leading to the Obama's first year deficit of $1.4 trillion. Overall, Obama doubled the U.S. debt during his presidency and set records for the highest deficits and the largest debt increase by any president ever. Donald Trump promised that he would lower our debt, that he would cut and find all of the excess and get rid of them. And my fellow Americans, we can see that this is a fact. Numbers do not lie. There are liars, damn liars, and statisticians. But in this case, these plain numbers, not dealt with by any statistician, are simple fact. And the truth is the truth, whether you like it or not. Moving on to our next story. This is from Grabine, whatever. First time I've ever looked at this news source. This is, they're actually covering an interview that Mr. Waters had with President Trump on Fox News. Trump will have the biggest tax cuts since Reagan, probably bigger than Reagan. President Trump is vowing massive tax cuts, even greater than seen during the Reagan administration. During an interview with Jesse Waters on Fox News, Trump pledged to pass a tax reform package that consolidated income brackets and slashed rates. Here's an example. Waters, the income tax rate, what we're talking about. What would you like to see the top rate be? President Trump. Well, we're going to get a big reduction. We're going to bring businesses down from I believe he meant 15 to 20% from 36 and 38% and higher in some instances. We are the highest tax nation in the world, and we are going to bring taxes way down. And for middle income, we're also getting rid of brackets. We're going from 7 to 4 or 3 brackets, and that will be such a pleasure. Waters, would you like to see what would you like to see the brackets look like? Trump, well, I would like to see zero if you don't make much, like zero. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be zero up to a level. Then it's going to be 12.5%, 15%. It's going to be 10%. We're working on different numbers right now. It will be the biggest tax cut since Reagan, and probably bigger than Reagan. Waters, very good. Because I need the money. Who among us doesn't want to keep the money they earn? I am an anarcho-capitalist. I believe that if I want to give my hard-earned to the local community or to my overall government of the United States, it should be up to me. And whether you believe your beloved reporter or not, I would pay my fair share. I would pay what I could afford to pay. Not for roads, because that's dealt with fuel taxes, not for all of the things they tell you your tax dollars go to. But I would spend my tax dollars to pay the men and women that are in charge of the government, and to pay for our colossal expenditure on military expansion and might. That said, folks, if your beloved ogre had his way, all of our boys and girls would come home to the United States. All of our foreign bases would close. Germany, all of them. I can't go through the list, it's too long. All of these countries would do what they should have been doing for years, and that is pay for their own defense. It's time that we stopped being afraid of the Germans. It's time that we stopped being afraid of the Japanese. Let them have their own standing army and build their own armada of ships. Let them build their own fleets of planes. Let them build their own military-industrial complex, because, fellow Americans, ours costs me way too much. I hope this brought a bit of light and laughter and joy into your life today. And once again, this is your ever-loving blue-eyed ogre reporting from somewhere in the vast unknown.